I'll say welcome to WCT. We're happy to have you guys here. It seems like you all are building something pretty cool, and I'm excited to have you tell us more about that. So I'm gonna first and foremost ask you to tell us a bit about your background in crypto. Cube, if you want to also provide that as well, you're more than welcome to. So take it away.
Sure. So just to get a little more personal, I am Hot Dog, but also Paul. It's a pleasure to meet you all. I have been I've been inside crypto for a very long time. Ever since Bitcoin was approximately $4 to $5, $6, $10 range, and people were freaking out because it went from friggin' $70 back to 10, and they were thinking that that was the end of Bitcoin. And I've been around the Binance Smart Chain specifically since just about the great rise of BNB, and before that, I was an early investor of Bonfire. I did miss the very beginning of SafeMoon, but I did get in for my solid gains. I was really the type of guy in my friend and social groups that was telling everybody about PancakeSwap and PooCoin and all of these really cool assets very, very early on. And I've been involved with creating, editing, and deploying Solidity contracts for about six months to a year now, probably closer to the prior side. And most of the coins that I've launched or helped with up to this point have been very, very much so leaning towards the meme/non-use case side. And so that just really builds my hype up all the more to be working on a truly endeavorous project here with LuxeRacing. We're going after a lot, and we built the team to accomplish just that. Cube, you want to take it away?
Sure. I don't have as much of a background with crypto. I didn't really get started with crypto until COVID started. Then I started seeing videos about SafeMoon on different apps and things, and so that kind of got me back into it. I had originally mined back in the day, but nothing since then. But then, I started getting back into crypto with SafeMoon actually and Feg, and that kind of got me into it. Then I started seeing the play to earn games coming out, and none of them were that great. I just, from my experience in the game industry, I don't know, it always seemed like they were half-assing making the games. So I don't know, I just kind of waiting for the right opportunity and met these guys and was just asking if they wanted to make a racing game.
Right on, man. Well, if you even mind a little bit back in the day, you should have a good chunk of change. And COVID was a good time to get into crypto.
Well, I mined it, and actually, this was back when Bitcoin was decimals, and I had a few Bitcoin and I don't know, a few hundred Litecoin and some Ethereum, and it was on an old computer, and I needed to upgrade my PC, and it was worth less than pennies back then, and I threw it all into the trash, got a new PC, and it's probably worth
oh no, a lot of stories like that.
Now, but whatever.
No worries, man. You'll make it back. Okay, guys. So if you could actually go ahead and explain a bit more about your project and how it works, I think that'd be great.
Sure. So I'll just give a really high-level overview about or the three main parts to our project, and I'll really give emphasis to one of those. And I'll really start this by saying, and if you followed us in any of our past AMAs or are going to follow us into any of our future AMAs, you'll hear this a lot from me. We are a product-focused token, and we are trying to use that as a differentiation advantage as we grow. And why I think that this is a differentiation is because a lot of these tokens, they will launch their token, have some sort of general idea about the product they want to release and use it as funding moving forward, which only delays, and it kind of kills the hype aspect to what they're doing. We are going the completely opposite direction. We are having our product built out and completed before we launch any sort of crypto connected side aspects such as the token or the NFTs to it. And the main reason for this is because we want to hit a much larger mass market than a lot of these crypto games have been able to so far. And obviously there's things like Axes and Thetan Arena, which is actually I'll get to this later, but that will be the base contract that will be forking used by also Onyx token, another token that's kind of similar in how they're building. Sorry, I kind of lost my thought there.
No worries. Okay, so I think, well, first of all, I think that's a really good way of going about it, right? You want to finish the product and then launch a token. A lot of these projects, actually, most of these play to earn projects are, they put together a really fancy trailer or some nice pictures, and they launch a token, and the token's not really used for anything. So it more or less becomes a pump and dump kind of
Exactly. Exactly. You actually just sparked my mind. Product focused token. We are going to use pretty much our heaviest aspects of marketing, promotion, development. It will all go towards our game, which is the core center of our racing environment itself. And on the outside will be our token, our NFTs, different game modes, play to earn, all of these things, but the core product is where we want to focus. We don't want to focus too hard on our token or how cool our NFTs are, rather than marketing our game, our actual utilization for these things.
Certainly. And can you actually tell us a bit about how your game is going to work?
Yeah. So at first, so we will have, I'll just start with a little tidbit. We will have a live beta version 1.0 going live early next week. And this will also be in conjunction with the beginning of our private sale funding round. But our game will be a real feel racing environment. And let me start this section by just saying that we don't want to just be a racing game. We want to be the crypto connected world of racing, and obviously that's going to lead me into a metaverse type of vision for us. And we don't want to just be a game where you're racing around tracks. We want to be the game where you're perfecting your high end car. You're completing accomplishments to build it. With attribution NFTs. You're going to different racetracks and challenging your friends. All these different things, all revolving around racing. And eventually, we would like to be the racing world environment of the metaverse itself. But so let me start by saying how it will work. We will start our beta by just being a real feel racing game. So we will have graphics similar to those of a Forza 3 or Grand Theft Auto 4 or 5 driving.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a serious. Cube is a AAA level game dev, and I'll let him explain his expertise there. But just to give an overview, you'll be able to drive with an interior setting. You'll be able to drive with your USB enabled game controllers. You'll even be able to drive with one of those VR wheels that you can connect to, say, your Xbox. We are going to be the most real feel racing game available on the blockchain.
And are you obviously you're going to be utilizing NFTs as the cars in game? Are you guys planning on having first or Gen 0, Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3 vehicles with kind of different attributes and different functions?
Exactly. So Genesis NFTs will be right in line with the actual post-beta game release. And when I say post-beta, it will still be a working live edit game release. We will still have a lot to do, but things such as multiplayer, being able to play with your friends, enter your NFTs into the game, this will all be available right as soon as NFTs go live. So we're really not slacking. There should be really no gap in between production here. We're moving as fast as possible. And at that, Cube, you want to give some insights to the actual game development?
Sure. So right now I'm working on just the first track that we're kind of using as a test bed. And we have, one Lamborghini that we're using as well. Got the physics and everything integrated, and the lap timing and all of that stuff integrated. So we're just working on kind of fine tuning the vehicles, getting that stuff so it works correctly, and just making it to where it's, you know, a fun game that is challenging, not too difficult, but challenging. And this will be kind of our foundation. Once we build this foundation and we get feedback from the community on the game and how they think it should, you know, be improved, or how, you know, if they think a certain feature should be in there, then, you know, we can take that into account. But right now we're just working on this kind of first solid foundation. Once we get that in there, then we can build onto it and keep adding maps and cars, and that's when it starts getting a little bit more exciting, because we'll have the different game modes, and that's I think that's when it'll really start to come alive, because the game is going to be pretty fun once all the other aspects we can't really release right now are released. It'll make a lot more sense. It's not just a racing game. The racing game is the core to it, but it'll be fun to play, especially once you see how we are dealing with the NFTs.
Understood. Go ahead.
On that, I don't want to play us down whatsoever. I just don't want to, make anybody expect all these different game modes when we go live with our first beta version next week. It will be a base racing version when beta v 1.0 goes live next week. And
yeah, game mode won't be for months.
Stuff.
Understood. And okay, and so once your token does, and thank you guys for the clarification on all that. Once your token does launch, can you explain a bit about how the tokenomics are going to work?
Tokenomics, sure. So we don't have anything publicly released, but where we're planning to put basically 10% buy or sell should be an approximated established tokenomic level, and a lot of that will go to development, because obviously as we grow and we release the base game that we worked on, we're going to have to shift into a more managerial style as we bring on a few more developers and start releasing maps at a faster rate. Adding cars, working on more NFT sets. There's going to be a lot more moving parts to this once we go live. It's not like we go live and sit back like a lot of projects are able to do. This will be a constant work in progress, and it will take a lot of funding. Aside from that, liquidity will be a huge part of our tokenomics. We're not going to be one of these tokens that leaves the liquidity bare to dry, and by the time that we reach a $10 million, $20 million market cap, we're only sitting there with a 1 to 2% liquidity ratio. We plan to stick out a solid liquidity tax portion out of that 10 constantly, and obviously all of these can be changed at any time to support current market conditions, but liquidity should be an approximate half at most times in normal conditions. And the pure reason for that is for us to constantly build a floor while we fund development and grow with marketing.
Certainly. And are you, so what are some of the marketing strategies that you're currently using to kind of get your name out there and start to build a user base, start to build a player base rather?
So this is actually the beginning of our marketing tactics in general. We do have a private funding round to get through early next week, along with our beta v 1.0 going live. And when this happens, we'll really ramp up with marketing. We do have, here's marketing Davey right here. Yo, Mr. Davey, you want to give a little overview about some tactics we'll be using as we start to ramp up?
Just in time.
Oh, I think he might be muted. I'm sorry, guys.
I got him. 1 second. What's his name? Oh, there we go.
Ignite Marketing Davey. There we are.
Go for it, Davey.
Well, until he pipes up, I'll start going with it.
Dave, you might. Sorry to cut you off, Davey. You might need to unmute yourself. So I unmuted you, but then you need to also unmute yourself in order to talk. But sorry about that. Hot dog, go for it.
Oh, good, man. So, we have a lot of professional connections through Mr. Ignite Marketing. He's provided us our base core group of initial investors. Like I said, we have a lot of interest in our private funding round. Oh, there we are, Mr. Ignite.
Yeah, I'm here now.
All right. You want to give a little overview?
Yeah, so like Hot Dog was saying, obviously, basically we're at a position where, due to the nature of how good the game's looking and basically what we've teased already, we've probably had, I'd say, 50 plus whale and AMA groups come to us looking to get on board. So basically, we've, for the first time since, I've marketed probably 30 plus projects. First time we can kind of handpick what groups and people fit our goal and kind of go from there in terms of creating a good community and a good floor for the project. And then once the private sale is done, obviously we've already got big fittings planned with, influencers, articles, ads, and then also big AMA groups to get more eyes on the project. But the plan is, once private sale has started and is complete, we'll use the budget that we have basically got together to get big eyes on the group before our actual public launch. So we'll be in a position where the private sale money will go and basically create a massive influx of members and hype to ensure that we've got that big mass marketing ready to go and to a large audience. But I'm open to any questions you may have on that.
No, certainly, and that was pretty clear to me. And at the end of the day, what that's important. But what matters most is that you all build a good game, and it sounds like you're on that trajectory. Cube, can you? I know that Hot Dog mentioned you have a background in gaming development. I could be mistaken, but could you elaborate a bit more on your experience with video games?
Yeah, sure. My first job in the industry was at Rockstar Games as a vehicle artist.
Oh,
on
wow.
their vehicle team. And so when I started working there, I started working on racing games. That was my only focus. That's the only thing we worked on. And so I worked on Midnight Club Dub Edition, Midnight Club Los Angeles, and then they transferred us over. They stopped working on Midnight Club games and pushed everybody over to Red Dead. So I started working on Red Dead Redemption as a terrain artist. And so all the terrain you see in Red Dead my hands were all over it. But yeah, so after that, I left Rockstar and I started working on my own, doing contract work for Facebook games and mobile games and other console games like Forza. I worked on that one, and Blur Racing, and I don't know, several other racing games. But yeah, so I have a lot of experience in the game dev industry, and now my current job is I work for an architecture firm doing VR experiences for bridges and things, so people can kind of see what the new bridge might look like. But yeah, so every day I'm in Unreal Engine and 3D Studio Max. This is what I do. So yeah, this is right where I'm supposed to be.
Wow, those are some big names. Midnight, Red Dead. Those aren't Rockstar. These aren't slouches at all. So it's good to know that. And are you how many game devs are on the team? I mean, I know you're the lead, but how many people do you have working on this?
Currently, it's just me. Right now, it's I can kind of cover everything just because we're using Unreal Engine. That's one of the nice things. We're not building a game engine from scratch and reinventing the wheel. So Unreal gives us the flexibility to be able to quickly create a game and test it and get it out there and our aim right now is for PC, but we also want to push it to mobile, so it'll be on Android and iOS, and you'll be able to play with your VR headset if you want. So it's going to be really flexible so that we can hit as many people as possible. And some people don't like VR, some people don't like playing on their PC, but you'll be able to plug a PS4 controller in or a steering wheel, and it'll all work. So hopefully everyone has fun in the racing game.
Right, and that's kind of the way to go, right? Kind of the way cross console games are kind of the way of the future. So go ahead.
That's a huge focus for us as well. Just to build off that a little bit, so my background is actually in professional racing, not as a racer itself, but as a marketer. I've led marketing departments and designed for a lot of racing teams, racetracks themselves, a lot of national names in the United States. Virtual racing is such a huge aspect that has taken over the scene in the past 3 to 4 years, and that's almost what I mean by when I say mass market, that we're trying to reach a market past these early crypto investors. Obviously, we're trying to build our foundation of early crypto investors, but we are going to attempt to reach a market higher than just people interested in crypto, but also people more so interested in the high-end racing aspect of our game, and that are willing to spend money on our high-end NFT cars that are tradable, upgradable, customizable, all these different things.
Right, and this might have been mentioned earlier, but I'm going to ask it again.
Sure.
Obviously, first and foremost, building a great game is the most important thing, but the even greater thing about play to earn is that people can now play video games, do what they love, and earn an income, earn money doing it. So correct me if I'm wrong, but the Lux token is what players of the game will be earning. Is that right?
So the Lux token will be integrated into the game in a few different ways. They won't directly earn it just by, say, winning some random race against the computer. We do plan to have aspects such as wagering, head-to-head bets, and along with that, just so that says our cars will be upgradable with alternative NFT sets and such things that you can add on to your original car's NFT and upgrade, aspects. Let's say your RPM max, your engine tune, your gear stage. All these really cool things, and so you'll be able to see all these different players' cars aspects when they're looking to challenge you. Just because we understand that people are going to have probably a lot of money up for grabs, and we don't want anybody going around stealing all these people's money with a highly upgraded sleeper car.
Certainly. Yeah, I was just trying to understand the kind of the earn aspect.
And so, and also just to build off that again, we will have a lot of contests for NFT holders. So it won't directly be a play to earn where you can just download our game, play it, and earn the tokens. You will have to be an NFT holder and or racer to have the ability to earn out of our game.
Understood. And I can understand why you don't want it to be a model where players are just earning Lux by going against the computer, because that way you're kind of seeing it with Axie Infinity, where a lot of users have built up these farms, and they're just over farming the SLP token, and obviously we're seeing what's happening with the price of that.
And for me, it's also kind of a thing of that puts a lot of focus onto the token itself. We want the token to be a usable aspect inside the game, which is our focus. Our game will be everything. If we were to make, and this is my personal feeling, if we were to make the token the main focus and the game just an additional feature to our token, we we would not be a stable asset. You know, and I really think that you know, the reason why a lot of tokens pump and dump is just because of this. They put their whole focus onto the actual tradable asset when their focus should be the product that the asset is attached to.
Wholeheartedly agree.
And you know, and that's really how we're trying to differentiate ourselves and go after this top level AAA rated game style. And you know, it's what we produce will be eye-opening for a lot of the crypto world, and I think just that aspect alone will pile on investors of large types. And obviously, with the large-scale marketing that Ignite Davy has connected us with up to this point and has planned for us, you know, obviously we have to get our private sale done and our game pretty much ready for beta release before we go after a lot of these mass marketing tactics. But we are set up to, I want to think, take over the GameFi world.
Right on. And it does sound like you guys have a pretty solid plan of doing that. My kind of follow-up question to that is, well, have you heard of Rev Motorsport first of all? And if you have, in what ways are you guys similar to them, and in what ways are you guys different to them?
Yes, I have heard of Rev Motorsport actually quite recently, just the other day. And in studying them, and of course you always got to study your competition. For one, they are a profit-based company that has a few other NFT projects that have pump and dumped. You know, we're not going to be like that. We are a focused team, and we are focused on LuxeRacing. You know, you can ask WCT admin, you know, and sometimes it takes a little trouble getting a hold of me just because I've got my head so deep in my work. But it's from that, and just on the standpoint of NFT design, NFTs are going to be a huge part of our token. That's where another whole huge earning part of our project will be is the tradability and the desire for the NFTs itself. Obviously, you know, if we create a metaverse connected environment, racing environment in the near future, people will go ape crazy to have the best car. And so, you know, if you're getting all these nice cars in our Genesis NFT versions and set 1/set 2, set 3, whenever you may get in, you know, you're obviously going to be getting them at a very good price comparatively to as we develop. But their NFT design, and I'm not trying to hate on any other token, you know, they are very professional looking project. I did look into them a whole lot. It's pretty cool. You know, they're going after, for one, a rally type of version racing. They're doing oval tracks. They're doing very, very low quality environments. You know, they take one set of a seating, probably downloaded off CG Trader, and throw it around the entire track. Which, you know, Cube has already proven to us that not only does he create beautiful, you know, game mechanics and movement, but the environments that we've incorporated so far and that we plan to incorporate, they're absolutely beautiful, and they're real feel too. You know, you feel like you're driving over these bumps and the riffs on the track. You know, it's really an awesome experience. You feel like you're in our car. They don't have that. And the level of NFTs, the level of options, the variety that we are going to have with all these types of brands of cars, makes and models, it's going to be an insanely different level of execution.
And I don't doubt that for a minute. Honestly, based on Cube's resume, it sounds like he's worked on some huge AAA games. So you don't need to convince me. I'm on board. So another question: what are some major part? You guys mentioned Theta and Arena. Are they a partner? Yes or no? And what are some other major partnerships that you guys have?
No, they are not a partner. That is actually that was in reference to the contract that we'll be using. It is also used by. Okay. It is also used. So they are the base creators, and it is also used by a few other work in progress, Unity, or not Unity, excuse me, Unreal Engine built projects as well. And both of these other projects that are also using, they went the route that, I kind of want to differentiate us from, in which they launched their token, they kind of pump and dumped, and now they're sitting in a slump with all of their loyal holders waiting for them to develop. We don't want that to happen. We want our product to be nice, clean, and shiny by the time all these holders hop onto our token, so that we can continue to produce effective, deliverables. And
Certainly.
so they are not a partner. And I'm sorry. As for partners that we do plan to have, so my career in the racing industry, I worked with a lot of high-level professionals and professional racers, a few of which, I worked very closely with, racing the Rolex Lamborghini series, or the Rolex GT series, and then also the I always forget the sponsor for it, but the Lamborghini, the Aventador specs that race in the USA. So I've worked with a lot of these guys, a lot of these companies, and a lot of these racetracks. I've worked with just about every single racetrack in the United States, especially every racetrack on the east side of the Mississippi. So, we have a lot of these brand connections, and I don't want to say that we're really going after any real brand partnerships at the moment. And obviously, we do have Ignite for a lot of token-specific marketing partnerships, and a lot of alternative token, platforms and such, listing sites. A lot of these things I don't want to release too much, because we're obviously going to be using this all as a hype building feature. We want to ramp up. We never want to plateau.
Certainly, I'm with you on that. And speaking of the contract, are you all audited? And if not, do you have a plan to be audited in the future, and by who?
We are not going to be audited before launch. I am a video docs dev. We have built a solid repertoire within our community. There's a mutual respect between all of us. We value and we take into account everything our community has to say at any time. And we really truly value their support, and I think they value our transparency. So due to this repertoire that we've built with our community and will continue to show to any new members, I don't believe it's completely necessary to have an audit beforehand, and it's definitely expensive. We do plan to initially have an audit and start applying to a lot of different organizations within the first few weeks of token launch, hopefully the prior rather than latter. And these will be, I can't say that we're going to go after a tech audit or a cert tick at first, but, maybe a smaller established organizations around the level of Desert Finance, or I know that Ignite and our community leader, Tristan, also had a few other suggestions for me as well. But we are looking into that. And, obviously, as we grow, we will then have the funding for the cert tick and the tech audit. And, just back to my prior comment where we want to continue to ramp, not plateau. This constant building, I think this building block type of growth will be very beneficial to all of our loyal holders.
Certainly.
Just to add to that, when and if we obviously go to Certic, because obviously that is what I would say is like the gold standard of auditing companies. I have a direct link to one of the directors within the company, which will basically allow us to get audited at a fraction of the public price and also at a much faster rate.
Understood. Thank you for that clarification. And my final question before I have you guys do a quick recap is, are you doxed? And if not, do you plan on being fully doxed in the future?
I am. I would say let's give it like 3/4 doxed. Our community knows where I'm from. They've seen my face. They know my name. The only thing I'm yet to give are my social profiles. I even have a bio on our website if you visit our About Us page, as do the other core members of our group here. And yes, I do plan to fully dox. Since we're at this initial stage of development and we're still hard at work, I don't want to put links out to my personal whereabouts and information, direct links just yet. But yes, eventually, of course, I will. I've given up this much information at this point. There's not much holding me back from giving the rest.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just wanted the quick clarification, and I do see that you guys have your pictures up and all that stuff on your page. So, all right. Well, before I open up the AMA to community questions, I would like you guys to do a quick recap, if whatever you want to say, and if there's anything that I haven't asked, if there's anything that you do want to express to the community, now's the time. So go for it.
Cool. So, just to give one more general overview, we are a product-focused GameFi project. And why I don't say token or NFT project specifically is just because we are game-focused. We are going to create the cleanest, most usable / utility-filled crypto-connected game that you guys are yet to see, and you guys are very early listeners to me as well. This is only the third AMA group, and this is the largest AMA group we've presented to so far. I would love for anybody to join us and watch us develop at a speed that you have never seen before. We have so much coming, and I really hope that you guys join us to see us grow into not only just the premier racing environment of the Binance Smart Chain, but eventually the premier racing world of the metaverse itself.
I love that, man. That's awesome.
Thank you.
You guys certainly have a great team and the right ingredients to the formula. So I have no doubt you're going to do well.
Just a quick one on that also.
Yep, please.
Obviously, you can see the photos and the video of the car driving around the track, etc. That takes most companies a couple of months to even show you that. I think that's within 2 weeks. So it just kind of shows the effort and the drive that the team are putting into it at such an early stage, which will pay off as we go down the line and actually just basically show if that's in 2 weeks, what can you have on your hands in 6 months?
Certainly. No, I agree. All right, I'm gonna go ahead. We have a bunch of hands up, so I'm gonna go ahead and
before you unmute people, if I may, I was just listening in, and I like very much what I'm hearing. I know I have a few friends that are heavily involved with this kind of racing games to the point where they've built like their rigs with like a chassis and custom steering wheels and all that. So I know this phenomenon is quite real. Like I've seen it firsthand what it can do to some people. So I think you guys are building something great. I'm curious about like if you plan to have some sort of syncs in game or some sort of premium features for token holders, so as to, I don't know, create scarcity or provide that extra layer of people wanting to buy the token to get involved, whether it's through, I don't know, loot boxes or some premium NFTs that you can only buy in your native token or anything like that.
I can take that one if you like, Hog.
Sure.
What we've kind of not said yet is to make the game and the token basically accessible to the holders and make sure that people are targeted to hold the token and use the token is, once we have a workable game and we're at a point where we think there's like 2 levels, where there's a basic level of 1 track and a few cars, to then there's multiple game modes, multiple tracks, multiple cars, is we'll basically make the game free to play for all, except if you don't hold any tokens, you'll only get to play with 1 bang average car on 1 track, and then to get the full package of the game, you'll have to hold our tokens to get involved. So then it'll make sure that people are wanting to get into the token to get the full feel of the game.
Right, yeah, that sounds like a very fair way of doing it. Yeah, I know I have like 2 or 3 of my friends that will definitely take a look at this. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you.
No problem. And then just obviously as we grow, people will want to upgrade their NFTs even more. People will want the fastest car, the best car, the rarest car. Maybe they want say they got a really rare car, but they want the rare car with the bigger engine and less torque, rather. If when we get real racers involved and people who are already into general virtual racing, that's when we really explode.
Agreed. Thank you for the question, Acti. That was a good one. So I'm gonna start calling on community members.
Yeah, man.
We've got a bunch of hands up, so I'm gonna try to get to everyone. Let's go with Peace first. Go for it, Peace.
So anyways, can you able to hear me, sir? Hello.
How you doing, man?
Yes, sir. I have a doubt whether will the NFTs be only available to our only zone, or it can be traded in other marketplaces. And also, I have some other questions. Can I ask it later? Can I answer for this?
So so I got the first question. Will the NFTs be available in alternative marketplaces? And yes, they will. Eventually, we do plan to build our own marketplace, but being as the game is the main focus, we believe allowing people to trade on alternative marketplaces, and we are looking into forming a partnership with a main marketplace. At the moment, I can't really release any information at all regarding that. But once we do, there will be a place that we direct people to buy, sell, and trade our NFTs specifically.
Hi, yes, sir. And also, I have a question. Since you use Unreal Engine as a game mode, which you basically build your game based on that Unreal Engine. So, Unreal is it correct? So?
Can you type your question into the chat real quick for me to read?
Yeah, sorry, Peace. We can't hear you that well.
Okay, sir. I will repeat my question once again. It's no problem for me. Is a game based on Unreal Engine? So that what kind of graphics can we expect? Will it need a high?
The graphics. Awesome. So we are planning to make this game runnable on pretty much any operating system PC. Even low quality PCs. They should still be able to run our game. Graphics will be similar to those that you will see in a Microsoft's Forza game. Definitely not those out of Unreal Engine 5 with the really high HD graphics, but we will have very high quality graphics. We've looked at pretty much every crypto game out there right now, and we are set to have the best graphics out there on a real field game.
Just to add, if you do have a
random I need to know whether there will be updates for 6 months or for 3 months, because based on the themes or racing tracks or cars, will there be an updates for 3 to 6 months or some time interval? Because some season 2, season 1, season 2, season 3, something like that, it would be more interactive for the players. Is there any idea of that, sir?
So like releasing content in seasons based on seasons. We are thinking about the way that we're going to release our content. Seasons is definitely interesting. I almost feel like that's kind of the corporate way to go at the moment, and so I think we can be a little more creative than them, but something similar. Yes, we will be releasing content in waves.
Oh, yes, sir. And at last, I need to finish.
Hey, Peace. Sorry, Peace.
Sir. That is Peace. Whether we can have a multiplayer in that.
We will have multiplayer, yes, and actually our beta coming out early next week will have multiplayer enabled. I believe with up to 4 players per game.
Appreciate the questions. Peace. Thank you. Daisy's up next. Daisy.
Hello, Daisy.
Daisy. All right, next question.
Can
Aisha?
I ask question?
Go for it. Yep, go for it.
I read about customizers that people can customize their NFTs. I want to know, do we need to pay some fee to customize NFT? And do you have any mechanism to structure of NFT and people can shift to their structure of NFT too? Thank you.
So yes, people will be able to customize their NFTs in a completely revolutionary way. It's something that PDE gaming / GameFi has really never seen before. You will be able to real time customize, paint jobs, wheels, really cool stuff. Will this be a pay type of option? Most likely, although obviously, I there will be free customizing. I believe at the moment. I don't want to release too much just because it's really it really is a revolutionary aspect of our product, and it will be a huge thing come release. If I didn't answer any part of your question, feel free to reemphasize.
Thank you for your question. We're going to move to Aisha. Aisha, go for it.
Thank you, Noah. Okay, I joined a bit late. I'm not sure if you guys have already told what I'm going to ask, but I want to know that on your white paper, it's mentioned that vehicles modeled after high-end supercars brands will all be available. I want to know, is that can player buy any vehicle that they want to, like supercars, or first in the beginning one can only get basic vehicle, and then when player level ups, he can buy high-end supercars?
So, being that the main features of our game will be racing, with your friends and pretty much against other players, you will have a chance to, yes, you can purchase the best car if you want to spend the money out off of an external marketplace, as people mint or win auctions of on our Genesis release of our NFTs, and then go to trade them. Yes, a new player would be able to buy the best car possible, enter the game, and start using that car. He would not have to start at a base level car. The car that, obviously Cube did mention that we will have a base level car available in the game, but your NFT will be the car that you drive in game. The base car will be a freebie. It'll be basically like a test gameplay for anybody that doesn't hold our token or an NFT.
Thank you. Your game looks really amazing, and I love racing games.
Thank you.
For answering my question.
Thank you, Aisha. Venice, you're up next. Go for it.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Okay, I want to know about the maps you used in the game. Which real world cities you designed in the game, or they are just the developers' imaginative design cities in the game?
So let me just start by saying, yes, we do have the ability to design and add city maps into the game. We actually do already have one, but it is not included in our beta version. The beta version is just our premier racetrack, which is not modeled off any real world track. It is just a random racetrack that we made. But yes, there will be location and regional based releases. Maps, cities, let's say jungles, all types of different terrain. As you heard Cube say, he worked on the terrain literally from Red Dead Redemption, a massively successful Rockstar video game. So our maps will be definitely something to experience while you're racing a high-end supercar, through the jungle, through the desert, through Dubai, through Tokyo, any of these places.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you for the question. Next up, let's get Simi. Simi, go for it.
Thanks, Noam. I have two questions.
Sure.
So, what will be the main driver you think for the growth of your chart or the token? Because the reason why I asked this is there have been quite a few tokens with similar utilities and use cases. And today itself, I've been to several other AMAs. I see similar stories. So what we have seen that those tokens not always translate into a booming chart. So stories are fine, use cases are fine, but finally to see the results and pump up the chart might not be feasible. So what is the main driver you think for the growth of your chart after you launch?
For one, our amazing marketing team, we have a lot lined up, and just to spout their success a little bit, the last token that they worked on the launch for 50 to 60x in just a few hours, and it was a really cool thing to watch. But our driver for sustainability, just past that initial marketing launch pump, is going to be how much focus we've put on the game, how clean it is, and really, to be honest, as I said before, the larger market that we plan and want to tap in virtual racing, and not just virtual racing, but virtual video gaming. A lot of people are interested in these high graphic, these high quality games in general, and us bringing that factor into the crypto gaming world, I think will drive a lot of attention our way. Just the constant style of development that we have going on. There will never be a point in time where nobody is waiting for our next track or our next set of vehicles. Maybe your favorite car will be in the next set of vehicles, and you will always need to hold and buy more of these tokens to participate, in these new features of our game.
Okay, good to know. I have another quick question. So your taxes are 14% and 17% buy and sell side?
No. So we haven't actually publicly released our official tokenomics yet, but we are planning to nail them down around 10% buy and sell, 10% both ways. On launch, I should actually expand on this. This is something that I thank you for this question. So when we do launch, we do plan to have a sell tax of approximately 25% for the first 24 hours, 20% for the next 24, and 15% after. And why we're comfortable with doing this is because we're building a foundation of private funding / initial investors that we're not mass marketing yet. We're only marketing to very hand-picked specific groups that produce these HODL type of investors that give us a little bit of room to grow on. We are comfortable. We are comfortable with the communities upholding the chart for when we begin.
Right. So basically, you're starting with even if starting with 25 and then bringing it down to 15.
And then all the way down to 10. My apology, all the way down to 10.
Okay. So even at launch, there will be high sell pressure from that contract, right? And people will panic sell because it's hard to explain to people. When that happens, people panic sell, and you may be killing the buying pressure at launch. And if there's no buying pressure, it will create a launch of selling pressure even at launch, and it happens.
Exactly.
That often. So how do you recover?
So obviously, when we initially launch, we're going to be buying back and utilizing a significant portion to stabilize as we move up. Obviously, launches are volatile. You need to increase stabilization as fast as possible after launch so that you can then sustainably ramp up and create that slow rise that everybody loves. Does that answer your question? I'm sorry, I might have rambled a little bit.
Yeah, probably you may have some plans like buyback or whatever.
Yes, I mean,
correct?
Absolutely, and these will always be, and obviously, we're not going to straight buy back and burn. I really don't believe in burning. It really does nothing for anybody except sellers. So we definitely plan to utilize buybacks in any way possible, whether that be marketing, adding to liquidity, locking it in a wallet that's saved for possible listings, and that this can all come on very fast. And I don't mean to keep pointing to this, but especially with the connections that Ignite Davey has extended his hand to us for.
Mm-hmm. So what I was thinking, why not have some kind of treasury function? I have seen a couple of projects recently. They have a treasury function in the smart contract to maintain liquidity and also rewarding the users instead of, I don't know,
The
other ways you are thinking?
So I mean, as in a rewards token.
Yeah, kind of. It's both sides. In fact, instead of constant selling, contract selling for BNBs, you can have a treasury function, and then that will generate revenues, and that will help up with the LP and also rewarding the users.
So with the contract that we are using, I mean that actually is very, very possible. It doesn't exactly fit with it. I mean, we don't with our main focus being the game, and we want people spending their tokens in the game. We want to create a economy of our token within the environment of our game itself. So that kind of I think fights against that purpose, just because you're giving people the chance to sit there and stockpile.
Okay, whatever, whichever way you're thinking, that's okay. Yeah, thanks for answering.
Thank you for your question, though.
Yep.
Thank you so much for your question.
Could I just touch on
guys,
that for a quick second, Hot Dog? Because you kind of left a little part out of there, and that's that the private sale group that's been selected, they're people who are going to be diamond handlers for this whole project. So that's going to kind of ease up any selling pressure at the initial launch.
Okay, good to know.
Thank you for your comment, Dalton.
I appreciate all the questions, guys. If you have more questions for the for the team, you can go ahead and join their Telegram. I'm sure they're more than happy to give you the answers you're looking for. I want to be cognizant of everyone's time here. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the AMA, but thank you so much, Hot Dog and Cube and everyone else for being here. I think you guys are building something really incredible, and it sounds like you have the right pieces, especially Cube's resume, and same with yours, Hot Dogs. It's very impressive. So I wish you guys the best of luck, and look forward to seeing what you guys do in the future.
Thank you guys very much. Hey, for anybody that does join out of Whale Coin Talk, I will be hosting a small giveaway. Give me about let's say, I'll be in our voice chat on video in about an hour. I'll give away a private sale spot and then some BUSD to any of our holders that joined as well. Took note.
Fantastic. And Whale Coin Talk members, stick around for the daily spin.
Yeah. Thank
you very much.
Thank
you again, man. It was a great pleasure.
Absolutely.
Are we gonna spin today, Noah? Is that the move?
If you could do the spin, I'm on my phone, so it'd be probably easier for you.
Yeah, no. It's up to you if you want to do a spin or how you want to reward people. So if you want to spin, then a spin is what we shall do.
Okay, yeah, let's go for the spin.
All right.